The majority of you single men in America and Western countries don't even realize that most of the time when you go out with women, you actually hire hookers. If you define a hooker as somebody who requires any type of compensation for her time and services. And not only you're hiring a hooker, most of the time you're hiring the new and modern time of a hooker. The hooker 2.0, if you will, because unlike the old school hookers, they don't tell you that they charge and you have to compensate for their time and services. They're kind of like a really good travel agency that will get you in for a free seminar, but the hidden fees will add up. And most men don't even notice once the meter starts running. A lot of you guys, and I was guilty of it myself when I lived in America, they believe as chivalrous gentlemen, you gotta pay for the drink and a dinner and a taxi and all of that stuff. But you shouldn't. You shouldn't, especially in a first or even second date. But these hidden fees do add up. And a lot of times, you won't even notice. You can invite a girl for a coffee date, where you were going to spend maybe $3 or $4 on the coffee, and that should be your top budget. Do not spend more than that. But the girl will say, yeah, but I really would rather go to the dinner, and I know this nice restaurant, and all of a sudden, your $3 budget becomes $30, $40, $50 budget, and you spend this money on someone who you don't even know you like. And of course, oh, you're really far, can you help me with the gas money, or can you get me a taxi back, and so forth and so forth and so forth. All of these fees start adding up and you don't even notice. And of course, once you're really on a hook and you're in a relationship, then they get you with many other things like, oh, I really always wanted to go on vacation over there. Oh, I really like this purse. And there's always something that they will tell you how else you can simp for them and spend more money. And a lot of men, a lot of times confuse being a gentleman, which used to be being a gentleman, and now you're just being a simp, with essentially all these hidden fees that you have to pay to be with these women. And for me and a lot of other men that I know, the services that you get are just not worth the money. If you want to spend your money on those services, then just hire an old school hooker I was just talking about, because one, they're honest about it, and to be honest with you, you won't have to spend any extra time, and most likely you will save some money. Now you're probably saying, Alex, but what choices do I really have if I live in America and I do want to date and maybe marry one of these women one day? I'm sorry to tell you that there are only three choices that you have. One, which more and more men actually choose, which I find, quite sad. My heart really breaks for them, but a lot of men just stop dating women, just completely eliminate women out of their lives. And I gotta tell you, even though it would not work for me, it does work for a lot of men who just end up developing their careers, not spending a lot of money, living their dreams, not having any stress in their lives, and so forth and so forth. Now, the second choice, or maybe if it's an add-on to the first one, is a lot of men just essentially choose to hire help. And there's all kinds of different help. You can easily go to, I don't know what it's like hiring a hooker in America, but you can still essentially hire one by going to many websites like Seeking Arrangements, where you can rent one long-term. They're called sugar babies, and they're also usually younger. And a lot of men choose to do that, which does save them time for sure, but even money. And number three, and this is for those romantics like myself who actually does want to marry a good girl one day, because I remember what it's like being in an amazing relationship with one, and I've been lucky enough to have more than one even. In that case, you really don't have any choice but to leave. And I gotta tell you, just not having to deal with American and modern women in general, just not being there is already an amazing relief. Your life already improves immediately. But if you do want to find a traditional girl to marry and to date long term, well, then this is your only choice. And if you do want to, at the very least, look into it, but really execute it, Go to themillionmanproject.com. I've outlined every single step of the way that you need to prepare yourself, to improve yourself, to pick the right country for yourself, and then essentially move to the country of your choice. And I promise you, not only being away from American Western women is a huge relief and an improvement to your life, the possibilities that you see everywhere around you with these amazing traditional and kind women, just knowing that you do have choices now is amazing. But at the same time, if you want to live in a more respectful society where everybody is very respectful, if you want to go to countries where the healthcare is much better, if you want to go to countries where you don't have to worry about violent crime or even crime at all, you don't have much of a choice. So come and join me and many other men who've made this trip, because I was happy in America already, but the new level of happiness is, I cannot even describe it.